Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn, and today we're back at it with another standard deck tech straight out of Magic the Gathering's Final Fantasy Early Access. And this deck was the best performing deck for the entire 24-hour marathon stream, every single deck that I brewed. And this one went undefeated. This is called Iconic Espers. It's Naya, it's utilizing Bahamut and Knights of the Round, and it's using some pretty crazy, underrated, underappreciated cards that, after early access, I don't think will be very underrated and underappreciated, because I'm not joking, guys, when I'm saying this deck went undefeated. It was absolutely bananas, and I think there will be multiple variations of this deck in the meta moving forward. You're going to see it all over the standard ranked ladder, and I'm pretty excited about it. Before we dive into the deck tech and then get to the gameplay, please like the video. It helps me get it out to so many more people and helps the channel grow, and I appreciate that so much. Some of you guys have been doing that every video, and it means the world to me. If that's you, let me know in a comment so I can thank you, because I really appreciate you guys. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, because I have a ton of deck techs coming. One is dropping every single day from now until pretty much forever. So look forward to that, and catch me live Monday through Friday over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/QuarantineCapricorn, because if I'm alive and I'm breathing, I'm there and I'm streaming. Now let's break down this ridiculous deck. Alright, so this deck is called Iconic Espers, and it's absolutely insane. The goal is to get either Summon Bahamut or Summon Knights of the Round into the graveyard to bring them back with Yuna. Yuna is a 5-mana 3/5 legendary human cleric. During your turn, Yuna and enchantment creatures you control have Trample, Lifelink, and Ward 2. That's important because that means the turn that you play Yuna, because she has such a big butt, she can't really be killed unless your opponent has at least 4 mana untapped, because as soon as you play her, she's got Ward 2, and there isn't any 1 mana removal in the game that's going to be able to target Yuna and kill her. So they're going to have at least a 2 mana removal spell and be able to pay the Ward 2. So as long as you play this correctly, you should be able to play Yuna on a turn where they can't kill her because of the Ward 2. She immediately gives all of your enchantment creatures Trample and Lifelink and Ward 2 for that turn, which can be really beneficial in and of itself. But also at the beginning of your end step, you return up to 1 target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. I overlooked how good Yuna is because I sort of assumed that any opponent would be able to just kill a 5-drop on sight, and I wouldn't be able to get a trigger, but that is just not the case. As long as you're playing around what your opponent's doing, your opponent has to keep a ton of mana held up, and if they do, then they're falling behind on tempo, and if they don't, then you're slamming Yuna, and not only are you getting the initial value of potentially swinging in with your enchantment creatures with Trample and Lifelink and winning the race, but at the end of turn, you're bringing any enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield. And that's going to happen a lot of the times with both Summon Bahamut and Summon Knights of the Round. Summon Bahamut being a 9-mana 9/9 flying enchantment creature Saga Dragon. On chapters 1 and 2, you destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. On chapter 3, you draw 2 cards. On chapter 4, you Mega Flare and deal damage equal to the total mana value of other permanents you control to each opponent. Can be absolutely nuts and just win the game for you if used right. And a lot of times it puts your opponent in a very difficult situation where they can't kill Yuna, and obviously they can't kill Bahamut. It also gets Ward 2 on your turn from Yuna. You say go. Now your opponent has 2 must-kill threats. If they kill the Bahamut, Yuna's around to do it all again the next turn. But if they kill the Yuna, you get to keep the Bahamut and have a 9/9 flyer that's also triggering these ridiculous chapters. But we also have another ridiculous hit off of Yuna, and that's Summon Knights of the Round, a 3/3 indestructible enchantment creature Saga Knight for a whopping 8 mana, 2 white and 6. On chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, you make 3 2/2 white knight creature tokens. So by the time you're done, you actually have 13 knights if you include the saga itself. And then on chapter 5, it triggers ultimate end, and other creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn, and you put an indestructible counter on all of them. That's not just the knights that you made, that's every single creature you have down. Absolutely comes out of nowhere to just win the game. But if you are impatient and you want to win sooner, we also have Clash of the Icons, which is just an uncommon, but this card is insane, guys. This card is so pushed, and I think people are sleeping on how crazy it is right now, and we put it to great use in this deck. Just 1 mana for a sorcery. You get to choose 1 or more, so you can choose all 3 of these modes. Either target creature you control fights target creature an opponent controls, so it's removal, and if you're using it in conjunction with these huge sagas that have huge stats, it's very, very easy to kill whatever you need to kill. But you can also remove a lore counter from target saga you control. That means one of your saga creatures gets to stick around for an extra turn longer than it otherwise would because the lore counter's gone. And not only that, but the next time it does trigger a lore counter, it's going to repeat whatever it previously hit because you have a counter removed now. So you're going to get an extra lore ability out of it over the course of the game as well. That alone is really insane. But then the last ability of Clash of the Icons is put a lore counter on target saga you control. If you're desperate, you can target the same saga creature with both of those abilities. So you remove a counter and then put a counter back on. Basically making it so that you're triggering the same lore ability that you triggered last time, except without actually going up on lore counters at all. You remove one and then you add one. It can be absolutely insane, but if you have multiple creatures, multiple sagas that you can target with this, sometimes you can remove a lore counter from one and make it take longer for that to go away, make it stick around longer, make it get an extra lore counter trigger over time, and then put a lore counter on a completely different one so that you can get an extra lore ability right away, and it's almost like casting a free spell. So all in all, if you line this card up right, it's almost like 4 for 1 value in a deck like this, and it's just absolutely absurd. But you're probably wondering, what are the other sagas that we can use Clash of the Icons with? What are the other enchantments we can bring back with Yuna? And most importantly, how are we getting these things into the graveyard so that we can cheat them out quicker with Yuna? We're going to answer that in just a moment, because we're going to start at the bottom of the curve here. We've got 4 copies of Llanowar Elves. That's going to start us ramping as quickly as we can so that we can get to a 3-drop on turn 2. Moving on to the 2-drop slot, we have 3 Rydia, Summoner of Mist. She's just a 1/2 for 2. She has a landfall ability that lets you discard a card to draw a card. So that's how you're discarding some of these big enchantment sagas and then drawing into even more gas. And then she also has this summon ability where you pay X, tap her, return any saga card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. And it gains haste until end of turn. So if it's one of these saga creatures, it's going to be able to attack immediately, which is kind of insane. That being said, you do have to actually pay the full mana cost, so it's not the best way to get Bahamut or Knights of the Round into play, but it is still kind of a backup option later on in the game once you do get to a lot of mana if the game drags out and you have to grind to a win. But in the meantime, there are some other really good saga creatures that you can hit with Rydia that we'll get to in just a minute. We also have 1 copy of Garnet, Princess of Alexandria, 2 mana 2/2 lifelinker. When she attacks, you may remove a lore counter from each of any number of sagas and put a +1/+1 counter on Garnet for each lore counter removed this way. She's really, really good. She dies easily. I think she's only worth having the 1 copy because of that and not risking having an extra copy in hand that you can't cast. But I do think she's good enough to see play here, because if you can swing with a couple sagas out, not only are you taking a lore counter off each of them and getting basically an extra lore ability to trigger once all is said and done over the course of the game, but you're also keeping each of those saga creatures around an entire turn longer, which is really, really important because you're going to get an extra attack in or an extra defense in or whatever you need. So Garnet's going to get big. She's going to keep your sagas around. She's going to result in a net of extra lore ability triggers. Just all around really good for just 2 mana. We've also got 4 copies of Esper Origins, and I think this card is super underrated and kind of a sleeper right now. 2 mana, you surveil 2, gain 2 life. Not really all that great when you're casting it, but casting it is sort of just the backup play. That's just the plan B, because this deck does a lot of things to put stuff in the graveyard automatically. We already saw Rydia's landfall ability, and it can be flashed back for 4 mana from the graveyard. And honestly, it is insanely worth it to do that. It comes back as a 4/4 creature for 4 mana without costing you a card from your hand because you're flashing it back, and automatically hits chapter 1. Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a permanent card, put it into your hand. Most everything is a permanent card in this deck, and we do have a little bit of an ability to sort of sculpt the top of our deck sometimes by surveilling and stuff. We actually get to surveil 2 with this and gain 2 life when we flash it back, so we can make sure the top card is a permanent, which is really, really nice. And then they have to get rid of this thing. If they don't, on chapter 2, we ramp 2 green mana, and that's sometimes enough to just straight up play some of our big bombs, or at least get something like a Yuna out way quicker than we might have otherwise, which can be really insane. But then also on chapter 3, other creatures you control get +2/+2 and trample until end of turn, so you might have the opportunity to just alpha strike from out of nowhere. And it's kind of crazy, honestly. And you can even reset the lore counters if you need to, with things like Garnet and Clash of the Icons. So all around, this card is way, way better than I gave it credit for. I think this is another card that everyone's kind of sleeping on, and it ended up being super, super good for us. But we have more ways of getting things into the graveyard. We've got 3 copies of Terra Magical Adept. When she enters, you mill 5 cards, and you get to put up to 1 enchantment card milled this way into your hand. So usually you're going to grab one of those smaller sagas that we haven't gotten to yet, or one of the other enchantments that we have, put that into your hand, and try to leave the big stuff in the graveyard to hit with Yuna. But she also has this other ability, Trance. For 6 mana, tap her, exile her, return her to the battlefield transformed as Esper Terra, a 6/6 flying legendary enchantment creature saga wizard. On chapters 1, 2, and 3, you get to make a token of any enchantment and give it haste. So you get to start copying your sagas, which is really insane if you already used Yuna to get back, you know, a Knights of the Round or a Bahamut or something. And then on chapter 4, you actually get to make 10 mana, and then exile Esper Terra and return her as normal Terra, milling 5 cards again, and getting an enchantment card milled into your hand. And at this point, because you made the 10 mana, if you do happen to mill Knights of the Round or Bahamut, you can actually just put that back in your hand now. You don't have to rely on Yuna, because you can just hard cast it with all the mana you just made, which is kind of nuts. And then if you want, you can just transfer again, rinse and repeat, which can be kind of absurd. So she's really, really good. But we have some other summons, some other saga creatures that we're using as we're curving out, which end up being the glue that really just sticks this deck together. The first most important one is Summon Fenrir, a 3/2 enchantment creature saga wolf for 1 green and 2. It immediately triggers Crescent Fang when you play it. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. So this is a card that can come out, be a nice chump blocker, hold off aggro, and ramp you at the same time, which is insane. You play Fenrir on 3, and then play your 5th land on turn 4 because you ramped one, and you're ready to play Yuna, which is utterly absurd. But not only that, on chapter 2 you get Heavenward Howl. When you next cast a creature spell this turn, that creature enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it, which is just a nice little bit of extra value. Sometimes that'll go on Yuna, sometimes it might go on something else, but either way, it's some nice extra value. And then on chapter 3, if you haven't traded Fenrir for one of your opponent's creatures, you get Ecliptic Growl. Draw a card if you control the creature with the greatest power or tied for the greatest power. So you could potentially draw an extra card when it does go away to sort of replace the card advantage you're losing by Fenrir going away. But even when it does go away, you can get it back with Rydia or with Yuna or with Terra, or like a million different ways you can do the craziest stuff. So it's not necessarily even a bad thing that these wind up in the graveyard after they get all of their lore abilities, because you want stuff in your graveyard, specifically sagas, to get back so that you can just keep the deck grinding. In addition to Summon Fenrir, we're also using 4 copies of Summon GF Ifrit, a 3/2 enchantment creature saga demon for 1 red and 2. And this is another card that helps us fill up the graveyard with what we need, because on chapters 1 and 2, discard a card, draw a card, so we can get these key big enchantments into the yard, ready to put into play with Yuna, but also draw deeper into our deck to get the other cards we need, like if we don't have our Yuna yet. If we manage to survive until chapter 3 and 4, on chapter 3 and 4 we get a red mana, so we're ramping. That might help us play one of these really expensive sagas, or it might just contribute to double spelling. Whatever the case may be, ramping with both GF Ifrit and Fenrir really helps the deck get to where it wants to get to, along with the Llanowar Elves, so that's super, super good. And having these saga creatures be ways to get things in the graveyard and dig deeper into your deck, and most importantly ramp, while also being creatures that muck up the board for your opponent and can block and trade and stuff like that, or if you're up against a control deck, contribute more damage output by being attackers, in addition to all of the ramping and drawing and discarding and stuff. That's what makes these so special and so cool. And then being able to just synergize with them with almost all of the cards in the deck just makes it that much cooler. The deck is kind of insane. I think it went undefeated. We're running 4 Fabled Passage, a bunch of the Surveil lands so that we can maybe dump some stuff in the yard to get back, a bunch of the Verges to take advantage of the fact that we're using the Surveil lands and they have the basic land types, and then we're using the basic lands. Sometimes we need to fetch them with Fenrir, sometimes we fetch them with Fabled Passage. Either way, they're contributing to turning on our Verges, which is really nice. That's the deck. It is way better than I expected it to be. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it went undefeated. Absolutely insane. You have to check it out. So let's check out the games. I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Wonders of the First. Wonders of the First is a brand new collectible card game similar to games like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, featuring a unique action-based resource economy that helps avoid pitfalls like Mana Flood or Mana Screw, and a battlefield containing multiple realms that unlock over time as you fight for control of the stones. The first 400 card set is called Existence, and they've even partnered with Star City Games to host their competitive play tour at every single 𝑆𝑐𝐿 event starting in August. The game contains alternate borderless art variants, as well as highly sought after limited edition numbered prints, culminating in a 1-of-1 stone foil. And the best part is that the developers have a community-first approach with a card database and deck builder available via Cardio, as well as a version of the game available on Tabletop Simulator, all for free. For more information, be sure to check out wondersccg.com today. That's wondersccg.com. Alright, we're up against MTG Hillbilly. This actually looks pretty good. We can Garnet on 2 or Esper Origins. I think we probably want to get Garnet down and set up the possibility to attack. Although, if he's playing Dimir, also we don't have a land. Surveilling 2 would set us up to make sure we get our 3rd land, and that might be more important. I think we got it, Esper Origins. Oh god. We need the land, man. We gotta find the land. I gotta find Bubba. I mean, I guess we get Garnet down. Lifelinker, force him to spend his turn dealing with it. Although, it's hard to say. Digging more for like the colors we need might have been more relevant. We'll dump you, try to get some red set up. If we need to Clash of the Eikons, then we're playing Ifrit. If we don't need to, we're going to play Maduin from the yard. looks like we're playing Maduin. He's holding up blue. So we might have counterspell. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yep. But I mean, it's kind of free value from the yard. So we got to get rid of a counterspell out of his hand without spending a card, which is kind of awesome. Let's see if we can get Terra to land. Dreams of Laguna. Alright. Summon Knights of the Round. I mean, we're gonna grab it. We're gonna be at 5 mana. We need 3 more to hardcast Knights of the Round. And we can play Maduin, so we could theoretically hardcast Knights of the Round, not this turn, but next turn. Man, this guy isn't messing around, huh? Let's get Ifrit out of there, but let's keep Yuna. Seems pretty good. Yeah, this guy's really good, man. He's really good. He's just really good. Like, very, very underestimated. The fact that you can just cast him from your yard, you know? We're just eating through all of his removal card by card. He's gonna be very upset. Bahamut. Gonna be very upset. Do we want Knights of the Round or do we want Bahamut? I think we want Bahamut. Boom! Yuna, you're an animal. Welcome to Spira, the far plane. Enjoy your trip to the far plane, Haughty Jin. Goodbye, Matoya. So close. So we will summon GF Ifrit. Demolition Field. We'll get some mana. Take action. Grab a mountain. Discard Knights of the Round. Play Terra. Good God, dude. Good God. We are off to the races. We'll put Fenrir back in our hand. We don't need to fight anything, so we'll just play Llanowar Elves. Hold on to the Clash. Swing for 12. Gain 12 life. And then bring back a Knights of the Round. Oh my God. What? 𝔼𝕀𝕳𝕆𝕄, Time Sorceress. Drawing cards. Clash of the Icons? Oh my God, dude. What? What? Look at all those. Dude, what? I mean, I guess we flip? Make a token of Bahamut? None. Kill 𝔼𝕀𝕳𝕆𝕄? And then like Clash of Icons. Remove a lore counter from that. Add a lore counter to this. Copy Knights of the Round. Clash of the Icons. Remove a lore counter from this. Put a lore counter on this. Knights of the Round, put all 3 on it. We good? We good, boys? We good? Oh my god. What is going on? I don't even know what's going on. Alright, it's Edie again, but I like my hands, so I'm not going to be upset yet. How important is it to cast Terra on 2? I want to play Llanowar Elves, but it doesn't help us to play Terra because we won't have the red. So I guess instead, we'll wait on the elves. We'll Elegant Parlor, put the Bahamut in the yard, plan to play Garnet next turn, and our opponent will probably spend their turn removing Garnet, or at least a portion of their turn. We don't block with Garnet, we attack with Garnet. He's going to be holding on to removal for Yuna for sure. If we can get down a Llanowar Elf next turn, we should be able to Yuna the turn after that. But that means we can't play Terra. Alright, beats Garnet. Well, we might have to play Terra now. Yeah, we're going to have to play Terra. We're going to have to be a turn off. Ooh, we hit nothing. We hit nothing! That's sad. It's very sad. Another Sheltered by Ghosts. Man, this dude's trying hard. Where are your new cards, man? It's frustrating. I guess we crack this first. We'll find red. Or maybe we want green? Yeah, we want green. Play another Terra. Hit some things. Do we want Knights of the Round in the yard? Probably. That's probably more important. So we'll find GF Ifrit. We'll play the elves. We'll pass the turn. He has to keep all of his mana untapped if he wants to kill Yuna. We can't destroy the Fear of Missing Out with Bahamut, but we can destroy one of the Sheltered by Ghosts. Six trance. Not good enough yet. Let me think for a second. I guess no blocks. I guess no blocks. Well, maybe I should have. I probably should have. because I could hit the one that has Terra here. Summon Bahamut. And we will hit this Sheltered by Ghosts. Our board's pretty nuts. Now he has to kill either Yuna or the Bahamut. Which is, kind of wild. He's got the Monument to Endurance. He's on the fast track. He's got a Mycosynth. He just needs to stay alive a couple turns to get the combo kill in place, and we're pretty low on life. But we're gonna have a ton of life link if he doesn't kill Yuna, so yeah, it's just over. This looks pretty good. I'm liking this hand. We'll keep it. The only problem is we can't Fabled Passage for white and still cast Rydia on 2. I'd really like to cast Rydia on 2. And as much as I'd like to save the Fabled Passage to trigger the Rydia, we need to make sure we can play a 3-drop on 3. Dude, we just keep playing the same dude. This same guy. Alright, we're gonna find a mountain. No white yet, unfortunately. And we'll play Rydia. I love Rydia so much. I don't even remember that game really well, but I just remember Rydia being my favorite part of it. She's so pretty. Yeah, he does have the one new card that I thought he would. The Joshua. It's a good card for this deck, but it's not super good. It's not the better card to play on 3. Or the better card to use like your recommission to bring back on 2. In my opinion. I think all the other 3-drops like Oculus and stuff are better for that. I still think it's worth being in the deck. Or being in a deck like this. Alright, we discard Bahamut. Now we have a decision to make. Ifrit. If we Llanowar Elves, we can play Yuna next turn. Also, if we had discarded the Ifrit, we could have got it back with Rydia's ability this turn. Four, 5 is kind of rough. I don't know what we're going to do about that. I guess we kind of just have to get to Bahamut. If we can, with Yuna. Yeah. Pass. Boyo, you need to be quiet. You are a goober. Stop prowling the hallways. Who's dead? Rydia? Yeah, I figured as much. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I don't think he has removal for Yuna. So we're doing the thing, man. We're just doing the thing. I think we dump Not really worried of Joshua. Flipping Joshua could be a problem. Oh, he's just gonna scoop! It's just over. Okay. That's fine. We can't do anything until turn 3, and I hate that. Absolutely hate it, but I'm gonna try and keep it. 𝔼𝕀𝕂𝕆𝕳 indeed. Pass the turn. We're gonna find some white. We're definitely summoning GF Ifrit on 3. I just wish we had a 2-drop. I really wish we had a 2-drop. Well, there's our 2-drop. Garnet is down. Aww. Boo. Boo. Two. 2-2. Fenrir. Come to me, Fenrir. What do we need? Probably another white, honestly. Just in case we need to hard cast Knights of the Round. Knights of the Round. With an additional +1/+1 counter. So we summon GF Ifrit. We about to get all the value, boys. We are about to get all of the value. Discard Knights of the Round. Play Commercial District. Ooh, we keep that, thank you. Clash of the Eikons. We're going to choose everything. So we're going to fight the Guardian. We're going to remove a counter from Fenrir. And we're going to put a counter on GF Ifrit. All of the value. So we force him to have to discard the Guardian. We discard another GF Ifrit. We draw Terra. We swing for 3. His blocker is now down, and Fenrir is now going to last another turn. How wonderful. How wonderful. What you got for me, Edie? Tersa? That's fine. That's fine. That's quacktastic. We're getting red next turn. Wonder how much that matters. We could block and kill Tersa. I guess we can't block and kill Tersa. Well, here we go. Yuna. Big Yuna. Big Yuna. Good Yuna. We don't want to get blocked by the Guardian. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna swing with Fenrir. Or with Ifrit. Yes, he is a hater. This is true. That's fine. We still get to gain life. Which is kind of the point. We trample through. And Yuna's about to do some very nasty things. Hello, Knights of the Round. Hello, how are you? Come on, get happy. Dude, how gross is Yuna? My god. My goodness. We will have 6 mana. That's a lot of Monument to Endurance. How did he get 3? Hold on, what did I miss? Oh, was it Josh? Did he flip Joshua? No. Did he just play them? Did he make treasure tokens and save them up and play them? I kind of missed how he got to 3 monuments. I was so preoccupied with my Knights of the Round. He's gonna kill me next turn with 3 monuments. Discard to draw 3, and then discard to drain 9. So he's doing 9 every turn, 18 every turn cycle. Which means on his next turn, I am dead. Which means I have to win this turn, or I have to get rid of the Guardian. And even getting rid of the Guardian honestly might not be enough. Although I do have a lot of lifelink. So maybe I will be okay. Maybe I will be okay. Let's go Terra. Get back an enchantment. I guess Bahamut. We don't want Bahamut. Submit 0, unfortunately. We are going to Clash of the Icons and pick everything again. So first of all, the fighting will be whatever's the biggest lifelinker we have. Remove a lore counter from you, and then add a lore counter to you. So basically we get to re-trigger the last lore ability without really going up any lore counters. Which is very, very cool. We gain some life, enough to potentially survive through the moments. I guess we can't attack with Yuna though, right? No. We need to destroy a monument. That's worth way more. So we'll target Summon Bahamut. And we'll kill a monument. He will discard in response. He's going to draw 3. And then discard again, and we're going to lose 9. But we'll still be at 13 and only have 2 monuments, so I think we'll be okay. Excuse me, dog. I'm trying to Final Fantasy. No. No. You don't get to go outside and pretend to be Fenrir. You have to stay inside and watch me actually use Fenrir. No. No. Stop prowling. Stop prowling. Stop being a grump. Where are we at? Is Bahamut destroying the damn thing? Okay. He's getting all the value. It's fine. So So we're at 13. He's only got 2 monuments. Yeah, we're dead. We weren't going to be dead. But we are now. Unfortunately. How the hell does he have... How does he keep getting these monuments? I'm so confused. He has 4 monuments in play after we destroyed a monument. It's so crazy. How the hell is he doing this? Now he's got 5. He can literally kill us right now. Bananas, dude. Bananas. Yeah, unfortunately it wouldn't have really changed all that much. I think we're gonna have to mulligan this. It's just too slow. Oh my god. Oh my god. I guess. I guess, man. We'll find green. We'll Esper Origins on 2. It's not going to be pretty, though. We're going to need to find another land so that we can actually play a 3-drop. Or we could just play the Llanowar Elves out. And the Fabled, we could have played the Fabled Passage. I'm okay with Esper Origins, though. I'm okay with Esper Origins. Let's do it this way. So we can play Fenrir. Ow. And have a decent blocker for 𝔼𝑚, which is kind of cool. We'll go with another green, so that we have the potential to play Terra and Llanowar Elves on the same turn if we want to. Esper Maduin. We might want to just go Esper Maduin and Llanowar Elves, because it ramps us to high hell the next turn. Do whatever you'd like to do, sir. If you sack 𝑚𝑒 to keep it alive, I only take 2 damage. Okay, you're going to trade. Fine with that. And then we get to get our 4-drop back with Esper Origins. 𝑠eraPHERIN. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. We'll go Llanowar Elves. We're going to want a mountain here, I think. And we will flash back the Esper Origins. Surveil 2, gain 2. And get Maduin. Oh, hey, look. The top card's a permanent. Thank you. Give me that. Fenrir's in the yard. Not a lot to get back with Yuna yet, but there's still hope. We get 2 green mana next turn, which means we're going to have 8. So we can play Terra, mill 5 cards, and play Yuna. Unless he kills Maduin, of course. Sigarda. Hexproof. Hexproof's pretty good. Helen. Make some map token. Becomes Crystallized Terra. Buffs the team. We get 2 green. We've got another land. We're going to start by playing Terra. Crazy. We'll get back Knights of the Round. We'll play Yuna. No attacks. And then we will force him to sacrifice 𝔼𝑚𝑒. Or rather, exile 𝔼𝑚𝑒. To keep 𝔼𝐴𝑔𝐴 alive. Pretty wild, man. We have enough mana to hard cast Knights of the Round. Want 1 off if we get a land. If not, we can flip Terra, make a copy of Bahamut, and it's just over. Yeah, that's pretty sick, man. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck techs, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.